Hey everybody, so I actually got requested to do this, which is amazing. Someone requested a video, but they just wanted to see my Persona or SMT video game collection. So I'm gonna kind of turn that into something just a little bit bigger, just to show off my whole collection, not just the video games. But we'll get started with that now. So here's the first thing in the collection I want to show you guys. I did a video on this. This is a Joker figure. This is the big one. It's the 1/4 scale figure by Prime 1 Studio. I have it in a really terrible spot in the game room right now because the game room's ever changing. I don't like where it is, and there's no light or cool ambiance to it. But he sits here. He's an awesome figure. Actually, one of my favorite things about the game room, but that's it for now. That's just the first thing I got. Okay, next, before I go through the actual game stuff, is this shelf right here. I don't want to say I built the shelf. I bought the shelf for super cheap from Hobby Lobby, but I repurposed it. I am very proud of the shelf because of how much work I put into it. These just have little shelves that I painted black so it blends in. Painted the base black. It was like just a light brown before. But these are just like a bunch of demons you can get from the games. The more of them I pick up, the cooler this top shelf looks. But I am actually starting to run out of space. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Next, here's all the Phantom Thieves, which I'm very happy with. Just got the new Haru figure. Did a video on that. But they're all together, minus Ryuji, who's never going to get a figure. But I built that back shelf, too, with just some of this pattern on some thicker cardboard to just give it some of the feel. I eventually do have a plan to make a background, but that's going to take time. For now, it's just a real thin piece of wood I got that I painted black just to give it, I don't know, a better feeling to it. Here's the dancing shelf. I'm super proud about this board, this dance board. I made this out of resin. Each one of the squares did all the lights for everything. The background lights do turn on. I'm not going to do it for the video. These turn on and spin, so there's like disco lights everywhere. It's a lot for the shelf, but it was a lot of fun to make. And then here's just miscellaneous figures I have with some shelves, and these shelves are super unstable. Once again, a shelf I have to work on, but that will take time because the last shelf is unused. I have 2 ferrets that continually run across here, and if they get on here, they will knock everything over and break it. So for now, this is all shoved in here. Plus, I have more figures coming, so this is kind of like a temporary makeshift shelf just to show off some of the smaller little figures I have, all this stuff. So that's it over here. The last shelf I have with any figures is the holdovers up here. Super disrespectful in this corner because most people can't even see it, but that's where they are for now, which is actually not super far from my actual cabinet. So up here, another figure, Arson, and then a couple of the collector's editions. That's the P5 Royal for PS4 and the SMT 5 back here for the Switch. Whew. Sorry, the top shelf is where I keep all the games. I took them out because I want to go through those individually. And then here's a whole bunch of art books, couple strategy guides, the little small collector's editions boxes, little extra stuff I've gotten. Here's the original SMT from Japan. I just absolutely love the box art for this one. I think that's such a cool thing. And I like their how their boxes are vertical. So I have that there. Here's all the manga. I've got all the P3, the P5 are in the back. Here's some just random ones. And then P4, I don't have them all. That's something I got to work on collecting. I've got 1 through 4 and then 9 randomly. So yeah, that's it there. The last one is just like some extra, like the bag from SMT5. Poor Teddy. And then that's the extra head for the 1/4 scale Joker. And then these are like mini figures of, I guess that I'm too lazy to build. So yeah. So that's the shelf, the main shelf right here where I keep everything in. And now I'll show you guys the games. Okay, so, you know, I've got a lot of the figures. I love the statue collecting. It takes a lot of space and it's super expensive. But I have, you know, this big basement that I can do what I want with. So I'm very fortunate there. I love having them on display. So I've got all that. I've got a decent amount of video games. You know, not by any means, not everything. I'm still working on it. It is a big collection. It's not as crazy as some other series, but it's got a decent number of games. Okay, so just to get started, I think especially if you're deeply involved in Persona games or SMT games, one of the biggest debates are, is Persona part of SMT or not? My take is I really don't care what people, if they want it to be or not. That's totally up to them. It doesn't bother me or hurt my feelings. I, however, do consider it all under one umbrella. They're all like loosely connected. For me, it boils down to the demons themselves. They are in all the games. You can, use them, collect them, whatnot. So what I do is kind of compare it to Pokemon. There's a wide variety of Pokemon games, styles, ways they approach it. Like even from Pokemon Snap all the way to the mainline to the new Arceus game is like different style, but everyone considers them all Pokemon games because it's all the same monsters, uh spread throughout all the games, and it's just part of the same genre of games, or not genre, family of games. Okay, fine. That's the way I look at Persona and SMT. Everything is SMT related. It's an umbrella, and there's different parts to it. They're all underneath it. Or if you want to look at it as a family tree, SMT is the trunk, and the branches are all the different categories, Persona being the biggest one. But there are others. I consider them all the same thing because the monsters carry over. There you go. If you completely disagree with that, that's totally fine. I'm okay with it. It doesn't matter to me. But I just want to let you guys know where I come from. So I consider this all part of the same collection. So I think the oldest game I have, besides that Japanese SMT one I showed you, which I don't really buy a lot of Japanese games. If it's a game I can never play, it's not something I'm interested in collecting. That's purely because this is one of my favorite series, and I love the box art, and it's complete, and it was super cheap. So I got that one. But besides that, the oldest game I think I have here is the original Persona on PS1. It is complete. It has a very nice manual, very good condition, and it's only, just the one disc. I think this is one of like the 2 or 3 most expensive games in my collection, but I do think it's cheaper now than it was when I bought it, which is great. It should be cheaper for people that want to play it this way or collect because it's a series they love. I, however, have not played this version of the game on the PS1. What I played was this right here. I got this before I got the PS1 version. I actually wasn't planning on getting the PS1. I got into a bidding war with a guy who was making me angry on eBay, which was stupid. And I didn't think I thought he was going to keep outbidding me. So I think I bid exactly $400, expecting him to go more, and then he went dead silent with like 5 or so minutes left in the auction. And I was like, oh my God, I just spent $400. But I have it. I'm super happy I have it. Anyways, the point is I got this before that. I got this in another game I'll show in a second for $100 for both of them. And I thought it'd be the only chance I ever had to play the original Persona. Not a bad game. I don't mind the first person dungeon crawling because I grew up playing games that way. What I do mind is that when you're in combat, everything's very muddied, especially on the little PSP screen. The demons, you can't even tell what they are, like what they look like. Any detail was completely muddied, and there's so many of your team and the enemy team on the screen. It's just so hard to tell what was going on sometimes. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. My eyesight is going, I don't know. But I didn't really enjoy it in this platform. I would love for them to announce a remake of PS1 so I could play it that way. But I think if I ever replay the game and try to actually enjoy it, I'm going to play it on the PS1 where I can play it on a TV and not have it so crunched down. The other game I got for the $100 for 2 games is actually the Persona 2 Innocent Sin. At the time when I bought these two, I got a phenomenal deal to get both of those for $100. Because I think each one of them goes for that much now individually. So I was happy to pick that up. However, this one I won't play. After my P1 experience, it's just too small of a screen to play a long RPG. I don't mind the PSP for like short games, action games, or like a shooting game like the R-Type game. I don't like it for something I have to read text and look at tiny things on a menu. It's just, to me, I can't do it. Maybe if I was younger, I don't know. I can't do it. I'm gonna sound like a boomer soon, like, ah, with a stick at you. But no, I'm just not going to do any more PSP RPGs. So then I'm gonna go through my PS2 collection. I believe, and if I'm wrong about this, then I apologize, and you should call me out. But I think I have every PS2 game on the system. I have well, here's the P4. I still didn't take that sticker off. I will take that sticker off, but these are all complete, by the way. I don't buy them unless they're not complete. It's got everything. I didn't play this again because I knew that there was a more complete version in Persona 4 Golden. And when it got announced for the Switch, I was super excited, and then it didn't come out physically, which was a huge bummer. That is the only game I've purchased digitally now in I think like 2 years and played through. It's absolutely a game. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, because I'm actually working on a real review, or not a real review, just my thoughts on the game. Trying to make my first real YouTube video in a while, and trying to do even better than I have on any other video. So that one, if I ever finish it, we'll go there. But I played Persona 4 all the way through on the Switch digitally. Still disappointed I don't have that game physically. But it is what it is. What can you do? So I've got Persona 3 Fez. This is the version I played on the PS2. Now let me tell you, when they announced that they were doing Reloaded for modern systems, I really wasn't excited at all. I've already played it. At that point, I wanted Persona 6. But the more I see about that game now, the more they release images or information about how the game has changed, how they updated it. I'm so excited for that game now. I ordered the collector's edition for that, which I think comes out in February. I'll do an unboxing for that, and that's a game I am actually very excited to play now. So here's the Fez version. This cover is horrible. It's just super boring. I have the original Persona 3, which is just like a million times more interesting. I don't know why they went from something like this to just a silhouette of Aigis. It's not anything that's exciting at all, but okay. Here's SMT3 Nocturne, and this one is still sealed. I think they had like a ton of overstock games for this, because I'm pretty sure you can still find this on eBay or Amazon or whatever, like new game, new seal. But why would you want this now that they remastered it and came out on Switch? I don't know. Or maybe that was PS5 or PS4 also, I'm not sure. So then I've got both of the Digital Devil Saga games. I don't know if you guys need me to open all these and do that repetitively, but once again, every game I'm going to buy is going to be complete. These are all nice copies of all these games, so happy about that. I haven't played these at all, and at this point, I don't really know if I will anytime soon, because I know the entire storyline from the start of the first game to the end of the second. I've watched playthroughs, watched a ton of videos. I know the whole story, so I don't know how much enjoyment or how enjoyable it would be for me to play on my own, since I already know everything that's coming. But I do like the concept that you turn into a monster, or demon, sorry, and it's like approaches the combat differently. I think that's an interesting way to do it. I know the whole story, so I don't know. The rest on PS2 is the Raito Kuzunoa games, 1 and 2. These I have not played, and I honestly don't know much about the story. I know they're more action games, so you can summon a demon to help, but I think it's a very different style combat. Maybe not necessarily as enjoyable as the turn-based that I want, but I heard they're good, and I enjoyed Strikers for what it was, fine. So I kind of want to play these, sooner rather than later, because I don't know the story, and I don't want them to get spoiled for me. Also, I do love Raito's design. I think he's one of the cooler protagonists in all of SMT. So yeah, I got both of those. The first one, I don't think is that expensive. I think it's, you could still get it for a very reasonable price, almost retail, $60 to $80. The second one I know goes for more, especially if you have the full collector's edition. I think it's still pushing $150 or so. But yeah, that's a good chunk of games that they came out with on the PS2. They were definitely very prolific at that time. The only Xbox 360 game I have is the Arena Ultimax. I haven't played it at all, but I have that one. I got it super cheap. Here, let's do the handheld games. Once again, I think Atlas saw decent sales numbers in the Nintendo handhelds, and it is obviously there's systems that are easier to develop for. They can't handle as much as like home console systems, so I think it was cheaper for them to develop the games. So they came out with a ton of them on it. The first one I have here, this is the only DS. This is Strange Journey. I have the Redux version, but I absolutely love this cover. I think that's one of the coolest, like, most kind of like mysterious, like darkest covers in SMT. Like, who's this guy? What's this big dark hole in the sky above him? So I'm gonna keep it forever just because I love that cover a lot. But if I ever do play the game on 3DS, which I'll play this one, I've heard it's a brutally difficult, hard, doesn't respect your time kind of SMT game. So I don't know. We'll see if I get to it. Here I have SMT Apocalypse. I have SMT4 on the DS, but I don't have it here now because I'm currently playing it. That's actually the game, one of the 2 or 3 games I'm actively playing. It is the hardest SMT game or Persona game I've ever played. I am actually super enjoying it though. I really like the aesthetics to the game. The demon design is very cool. And they utilize the 3DS as best they can. You actually get to do dungeon crawling, like move your character around. So I think that, to me, makes it more enjoyable, more immersive that you get to do those things. So yeah, I'm playing that, but I haven't, I don't have it, the game down here, it's upstairs. But this is kind of like a pseudo-sequel, in a way. I don't know a whole lot about it. And at this point, I'm trying not to watch too many more videos or anything on it, because I want to keep the story fresh or new for me when I do get around to it. I've got both the Persona Q games. I have played maybe an hour and a half of Q2, and then I stopped. They seem like interesting games. Ones I'll definitely, at one point in my time, make, I will play through them. But it's that cutesy art style that just kind of, for me, takes me out of it. I understand why it works, especially for a handheld system. It's probably easier to render those and get it on screen. I just, for whatever reason, SMT, Persona, like, are darker games, or at least more serious games, and that cutesy art style just clashes with that. That's still one of the hardest things I'm trying to reconcile with Persona 5 Tactica coming out. Of course, I want another Persona 5 the cast in another game, but just that art style. Every time I see a commercial, it's hard for me to get my brain in the mode like, yeah, this is the art style they belong in. I don't know, mate. We'll see. Maybe that game will be so good it won't matter. I don't know. Okay, so I've got Devil Survivor Overclocked. I have not played that at all. I heard it's an amazing game. I think some people say it's their favorite SMT game. And then Overclocked, Devil Survivor 2. This is called Record Breaker. It's they're both the like enhanced versions. Now the second one I did play a decent amount. I think like 6 to 8 hours. Very cool combat. I like it's like a strategy game, so you move around each character, and then when you get into combat, you like jump into a screen, like a more traditional turn-based screen, and fight them that way. I thought that was very cool. Game I will go back to. I don't know why I quit at the time, but now I want to go back and play the first one before the second. I don't think they're related, but in my brain, you have to play one before you play two. And then here's the only actual like handheld 3DS game I've beaten, which is the Soul Hackers. Now, I beat this before they even announced that they were doing a Soul Hackers 2 for modern systems. I just put this in, and within the first hour, I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is like cyberpunkish, like futuristic. These are like computer hacker rebels on the outside trying to beat the system type of sort of in general type of feel. It was very cool. I think some people said this was hard. I didn't find it difficult at all, especially now compared to playing Persona SMT 4. This is like a baby game compared to that. That game is just kicking my butt. I have to like make sure I'm leveled up and ready to go for every single little encounter because those fights are so hard. This wasn't that bad. This was fun. I recommend it. Okay. We'll do, here's like all, let's see, PlayStation 4 and then the one PlayStation 5. Here's a game that started it all for me. This is Persona 5 Royal, the Steel. This is the PS4 version. This is what got me into the series, and for the last 6 years, I've like enjoyed the series more than anything else. Obviously beat that one. It took me longer than most people, since I think also too because it was the first game I'd played through. It was about 130 hours for me to beat it. Here I've got the Persona 3 and 5 dancing games. I could do a whole video on why everyone that hates these games is looking at them the wrong way. Maybe I'll do that video someday, but I enjoyed them. My kids actually enjoy them. We don't play it on difficult by any means. I'm definitely not like a rhythm type person, but we had fun with these, and I don't want to get into it anymore because if I do ever do that video, then this will just be redundant. Here's Persona 4, just the original arena on PS3. Once again, I don't remember where I picked up. Probably eBay a long time ago. I wish they would just re-release this on a PS4 or PS5 version, or the Ultimax at least, so that I would love to play it, but I'm not gonna bust out my PS3 just for a fighting game. Nah, that's okay. And then the last one is Soul Hackers 2, which I beat. Believe it or not, it's one of, very rare for me to actually beat a video game these days, but I did beat it. My thoughts are still is that I think it didn't live up to people's expectations, so their reaction was more harsh to it than it deserved. The way I look at it is this is kind of like an introductory game to the SMT franchise as a whole. I think they were trying to draw a new audience in, like new players, younger players, players that just didn't want to get their butts kicked every 15 minutes. Some of the bosses towards the end were very challenging, but for the most part, the fights you could just plow through. The demons look cool, and I did enjoy the cast, so it wasn't super in-depth or anything. It didn't need to be, but yeah, people were too harsh on it. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't by any means an amazing game. I'm not going to pretend it was, but not bad. Okay, and then here's the Switch ones I have. Not a lot. Yeah, but I did have to get Royal when they announced it for the Switch. I haven't opened it. The next time I play Royal will be on the Switch, just so I can take it on the go. That really helped me beat Persona 4 Golden, was being able to take my Switch with me places, because I don't have a ton of time when I'm home always, or mostly ever, to play video games. So having it on Switch is a great way for me to spend more time with the game. So, plus, you can put this on any system, and no matter how bad the version is, I'll buy it, because I will always support this game. You can put it on Atari 2600, and I'll buy it. There you go. I got Strikers. Now, super disappointed with the combat. I didn't care about the combat at all. I liked the story. I liked the enemies. I thought they were cool, like interesting enemies, like for the, the story itself. And it was so nice to revisit the cast again. Haru's one-liners in this game are phenomenal. I laughed out loud. She really got more fan service in this game to make up for her lack, or how late she came into Persona 5. And, you don't have that kind of like cozy feel of them, going to LeBlanc all the time. But they have their Winnebago, which was super cute. I love the Winnebago. It was just fun for them to have a cozy little hangout again. It just made it just gave it that little warm feeling for me. Just that style of combat. I think they did a really good job with the combat. It just doesn't appeal to me necessarily. But yeah, I still loved it just because of it's Persona 5. Here's Persona SMT 3. This is the way I played it. I do need to go back and do it. I don't think it was as hard as people said. I don't even know how many hours. I think over 10. I beat 2 of the like bosses. I forget what the name for him was. It was the first one's Matador. I beat that one, and it was right after I beat the second one, which I can't even remember what it was now. That's like right when I quit the game and I didn't go back. I don't know why. I get busy and I drop games, so it's definitely worth playing. You might not like the graphics. They did clean them up. They're not as muddy, but it is definitely PlayStation 2 graphics, but the game is so good. Yeah, it's an RPG worth playing. It's more accessible now, so I think it's a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise give it a try, should definitely give it a try. It's a very good game. And then so likewise with this one, this was SMT 5. This is the Steelbook. I was very excited when it got announced, and once again, I put a little more time into this than I did SMT 3, but I didn't beat it. I need to go back. But it's very cool. The art was awesome. Definitely modern graphics. I know the Nahabino, the main character, was kind of controversial. Some people didn't like his design. I thought he was cool. I don't want every main character to look the same. That just gets boring. So when you've got these cool, unique characters, the guy he had his laser hand and the weird suit and the long hair. I digged it. I thought it looked cool and different. It sets him apart from some of the other protagonists. And I enjoyed it. Those are both games, you know, harder SMT games I know are not as popular. I think because it's a little bit more of just straightforward grinding, tough battles. But they are great RPGs. The combat systems in SMT is like second to none. I still love that they're holding on to the old turn-based combat and making it fun. That's like the most important thing. But yeah, that's it for all the video games I think I have for the SMT collection. Decent number. I'm still working on it. There's some more I want to get. There's more coming out that I'm excited about. I got Tactica pre-ordered for this year. And I've got the Persona 3 Reloaded Collector's Edition ordered. So I'm always going to keep getting new stuff. It's a series I love to play when I have time. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with the collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I don't know, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will catch you on the next one.